Today's video, we're going to be checking out the Hasbro Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure Thanos wave. This is Avengers Infinity War Iron Man. To figure out how tall Iron Man is, we're going to go ahead and take the tape measure. Putting it next to the figure, we know that the figure stands at 6.5 inches. Now, I figured we'd have a look at this figure first, despite the fact that he doesn't come with any Build-A-Figure components for one Thanos. He is the one exception to that rule. There are 7 figures in total, but only 6 figures make Thanos. So you can actually pick this figure up really. Ideally, you could pick up this figure anyways, and I think Hasbro probably had the intention that many people would likely be getting an Iron Man anyways, that they just kind of threw it into the mix. They didn't really necessarily need Build-A-Figure components to kind of upsell the idea of getting a said figure. This Iron Man is actually quite nice. I really do think it turned out very nice indeed. It's hard to almost describe the plastic, which is something that I find more and more the Marvel Legends figures seem to be getting, is that kind of weird plastic, something that Hasbro likes to incorporate also with their Transformers too, is this kind of like weird, kind of feels like it's cheap plastic, but you would only be able to really understand that feeling it in hand. One thing I do notice though with the plastic sticking to that theme is that the plastic around the torso area is not quite the same plastic that makes up from the thigh area down. A lot of that could be because it's more, it's a smaller mold that they didn't have to use. Like the plastic itself could be a little denser, but you do notice that there's almost more of the that kind of swirly sort of cast plastic here that does look slightly different really from the leg area down. The arms also are not quite the same color as the torso. I have to give them credit though, despite the fact of whatever feelings I have about the plastic itself. Yes, I know I've said plastic a lot. I do think that the figure is actually quite nice, and equally so, the paint is also very nice. He's got a much more, I don't want to say artistic flair, but he definitely has a lot more kind of spiraling textured patterns to his armor, unlike some of the armors that we had saw before from Iron Man. I don't know the reasoning for this, but he's got this, I don't know if you can see it or not, he's got this weird kind of square cutout here that looks like it's actually been applied after the fact. Like there's this seam here, but then he's got this kind of outlined area here as well. I love that this one has some additional musculature kind of making up his armor area here. You've got some nice little recessed areas here of the gold and some little light up blue areas of his armor. Of course, he's got his arc reactor, which unlike the basic class figures that we've already looked at, presented here very nicely in a bright white and outlined very nicely also, equally so, in blue. It's probably just my eyes playing tricks on me, but it does seem like it's almost got a more of a glowing end of it by the fact that the plastic slightly gets a more translucent appeal, like a translucent feel to it. The gold carries over around to the arms, the back of his torso as well. And also gets it nicely presented here down the side of the leg as well. But going back to what I had mentioned up here, where you've got this patterned effect at the top, it also carries itself very nicely down by the leg area and the areas right underneath the knees. Looking at his helmet, exquisite would be probably the best word to describe it. It does look like the faceplate is removable, which I actually only realized now. It looks like it's something that can come off. I guess it not be the case. No, it's just the way it's been, just the way it's been attached. I wonder why it's actually elevated the way that it is, unless they had intended an alternate face underneath that. But let me just see if I can get my finger underneath here so you guys can see it. There is nothing. There's nothing underneath there. I guess they just decided it was easier because it was elevated plastic to not mold it like that, but actually mold 2 pieces, where the faceplate would be adhered to the helmet area on its own. And you've got the very bright areas of the eyes outlined nicely in the blue. And a very interesting thing about this particular armor is that the helmet, the mouth guard almost carries its way up to the sides here. Kind of looks like it's slightly fish-like, or it kind of actually looks like Iron Man's got a mustache because he's got the little side areas jetting up here. So really, all around, a nice looking armor. Comes with some accessories, not many though. He comes with a pair of interchangeable hands, which defaulted out of packaging. One of the hands already is attached, like this. The other hand you have to just attach. So go ahead and pop the hands out, just like that. And replace the hands like so. There we go. And you'll probably notice right away, yeah, he's got holes in his hands. Well, he also includes the very frequently included repulsor blasts, which plug right into the hole of his hand, just like that. You can also do it on the other side. I would hope you'd be able to do it on the other side if his hand has the hole in it. And it gives you some added bonuses for how you can display the figure. Looks good. Again, you've got the slightly translucent plastic. Starts a little clearer at the top, the end here, and gets progressively darker to the blue as it gets to like the areas of his hands. It's a softer plastic, so unfortunately, the result of that is one of them was more warped when I got it out of the packaging, but you can just heat that up and bend that back into place. It is really a fantastic looking armor. My all-time favorite armor of Iron Man was the Civil War armor, which luckily I was able to get in the Hot Toys version release, and it's one of my all-time favorite armors. I might dare say that the Infinity armor here that we've got for Iron Man may potentially trump that as my new favorite Iron Man armor. I love, first of all, he's sleek. Second of all, again, he's got that patterned look that really I haven't seen with a lot of other Iron Mans. He's going to get more of the streamlined look, something that, again, just looks like it's molded to his body. Glorious looking details here on the back as well. But I love like the patternedness of his specific armor. It's a little less shape-like. It's a little less kind of more like angular. And again, it's kind of giving more like a fluid, something that almost just looks like a liquid armor kind of on his body, where you can almost make out like the musculature here on the legs, the torso, and stuff like that. But the only thing I'm not really crazy about here is, again, this little area. I like it more so like this, but I mean, that's just my own personal preference. From a Marvel Legends standpoint, I think the figure actually is really nicely done. It might even be one of my favorite new Iron Mans from the Marvel Legends line. Okay, so let's run through his posability. His head rotates all the way around. It is, I will admit, not that this would be a good gauge for you, but it is a little on the loose side. Head hinges back and forth as well. So essentially he's got, let me just pop this off for you. He's got the ball joint, and then the ball joint sits on a hinge. That's how most of these will actually work. Pop that head back into place. There we go. He's got hinge joints on the arms, but I do find the arms to be very limited, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that the nature of the shoulders are a little bit more of a bulbous ball that they can't get as far up due to the texturing here, the way the sculpt is. It's still equally nice, a very nice looking arm, and I love how it continues the pattern from the forearm or from the shoulder area here into the torso. Has a swivel in the bicep. He has a hinge, double hinge to be exact, on the elbow. There's your hinge there, there's your hinge there, giving you a double hinge. Rotation in the hand, hinge back and forth. He has the upper torso ball joint. Pleasantly surprised as well, that's because, well, it's not making use of an older Iron Man mold. Luckily he has ball joint legs. Doesn't have that horrible rotating hinge that some of the older Marvel Legends have. As a result of that, his leg can move forward, can move back, and very freely can move also out. He has a top swivel cut, as you can see there, in the thigh, double hinge on the knee, a very nice ankle pivot, and the ankle also hinges back and forth as well. Like I had mentioned at the beginning of this review, yes, he does not come with any component pieces for building Thanos. A very smart, safe bet, I would say, from Hasbro to release this guy standalone, because really most people will be picking this figure up anyways, despite the fact of having no Build-A-Figure pieces. I must say I rather like this particular suit for Iron Man, and might very well be my new all-time favorite suit design that Tony Stark wears. Granted, yes, he doesn't come with any of the Build-A-Figure components to build one Thanos, but we'll have a look at those Build-A-Figure components as we have a look at the rest of the 6 figures from this lineup. Yes, you heard correct. We're going to have a look at the rest of the 6 figures, and in the process of build ourselves a very impressive, very impressive Thanos. Again, a nice looking constructed Iron Man here. Plastic feels a little on the light side, kind of like what we're getting with the Transformers, but still everything comes together quite nicely. The paint is nice and clean, and even though he doesn't really have a lot in the way of paint applications, Iron Man comes together rather nicely. Today we were having a look at the Marvel Legends series. This is the Build-A-Figure Thanos, and this was the Infinity War, I was going to say Civil War, the Infinity War Iron Man. Like this video? Certainly let me know down below what you guys think of this particular figure, and as well, make sure you like this video as well. People have asked me, how come you don't do more Marvel Legends? Well, in all honesty, if I can be completely frank with you guys, generally I find that when I do post Marvel Legends figure reviews, a lot of times they just don't get views. They just no traffic coming to them. In fact, the sad part is if you could go back to some of my previously looked at Marvel Legends reviews, some of them actually have a lot less than 1,000, even less than 1,000 views on some of them. So I don't feel as if the interest is all that much there for me to be reviewing Marvel Legends. If that is different, if that is completely a different opinion from you guys, let me know down below in the comment section. Support the Marvel Legends videos on this channel. If you could go back and have a look, in fact, at some of the other Marvel Legends waves that I've done, and even just comment in those videos. Let me know, guys, you want to see more Marvel Legends figure reviews on this channel. And if, you know, if the views are what they are, I mean, it doesn't really have to boil down to views necessarily, but views definitely tells the video content creators, okay, this isn't specifically working over other things, because really people don't seem all that interested in it. So views actually, surprisingly enough, make a big difference for some of the content you may see on reviewers' channels. If they don't see that a lot of traffic is coming to those specific videos, it really is hard for them to want to go back and do more of them, because they don't think the viewer base is really all that much there for those specific videos. So support, not to bog down the final looks here, bog it down with some extra channel information, but support the Marvel Legends reviews on this channel by checking out these videos, as well as the previous Marvel Legends videos that I've done as well. It shows me that you guys want to see more of this sort of stuff on the channel. So hashtag support the Marvel Legends videos. Like I said, guys, more videos are going to be coming your way specifically for the Marvel Legends series. We're going to put ourselves together a Thanos, so that's definitely going to be coming your way. And as always, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.